Hey guys, welcome back to Garage Ministries. I know it's been quite a while since I've done a video, and to be honest, I've been trying not to die. So Texas is, we are in prime cedar pollination season, I guess, would be the word for it. So if you guys don't know, Texas cedar blooms 5 months out of the year. November, December, and January are our prime months for pollination, apparently. So those are peak months. So between not trying not to die from the cedar trying to kill me, I've had a few other things going on. So I do apologize about the long break, but we're back. I'm here, and I want to continue with where we were at. We were actually doing Science in the Bible. Part 3 is where we're at, which is actually oceanography. And it's kind of cool that let's just get into it. So first of all, the oceanography, okay? Oceanography is the study of the physical, chemical, and biological features of the ocean, including the ocean's ancient history, its current condition, and its future. So that's what oceanography is, okay? That's what, look, there's a huge expansion on that, okay? That's like, I dumbed that down. Because there is parts that I don't even know if I could pronounce the words correctly. So I dumbed it down. I kind of made it that own little, that's it. That's all. That's enough information, because if you start going down that road, you're getting into like fish life, this fish species, like coral reefs. Like it's massive, okay? So it'll blow your mind. So we're going to keep it as oceanography. It's the study of the physical, chemical, and biological features of the ocean. Cool? All right. So observations on tides, okay, were actually recorded by Aristotle and Strabo in 384 to 322 BC. Okay, early exploration of the oceans was primarily for cartography, which was map making, okay? So somebody had to draw the maps, and that's how they did it. They didn't have necessarily like how we can take satellite imagery and print it out and put some grid lines on there and some numbers and call it a map. They literally had to physically go and do it. So that's what cartography is. And mainly limited to its surfaces and of the animals the fishermen brought up in nets. So they didn't have a time or a way in that time to literally go underwater and map out anything or see anything. They just, whatever came up in fishermen's nets or they could see from the shore, that's what they mapped. That was the world. They couldn't go anywhere else because they didn't have the technology to do so. So the surfaces and cartographers, that's all they're really worried about mostly is doing the surfaces of the lands that they find. So this way they can map it out. They have a recollection or a record of it. The next explorers, whatever, could say, hey, here you go. And they were very detailed. Okay, and this is a little off topic, I know, but cartographers were very detailed in what they did. So keep that in mind, because we're going to get into a gentleman, actually by the name of Matthew Fontaine Maury. Okay, he was born in January 14th, 1806, and he died February 1st, 1873. So this dude is like older than me, if you can believe that, older than me. So, he was an American astronomer. Okay, first of all, this dude has a resume of stuff, okay, that he was into, that he was doing. He was an astronomer, a historian, cartographer, meteorologist, oceanographer, author, geologist, educator, and a naval officer for the United States and then the Confederacy. He wore a lot of hats. Now, I would like to guess, I didn't live in the 1800s, but I feel very confident in saying that he learned all of these by doing, he was what we'd call today an amateur. Kind of like how we have amateur ufologists, and Bigfootologists or whatever you call those. Bigfoot people. I don't know. Personally, on a side note, Bigfoot's real, but hey, whatever. Aliens are real too, but that's not the topic. So anyway, He was also a devout Christian, okay? And Psalm 8:8 was something that sparked him. There's a portion of that psalm that says, "Whatever passes through the paths of the sea." Okay, so if we heard that today, we'd be like, "Paths of the sea." We would, most of us might actually, think back to, oh wow, I'm going to date myself because they probably don't teach this in school no more. But date back to like their science class in like, what was it, like fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, something like that. That they talked a little bit about, everything, like a general science. Anyway, so some of us might actually say, oh, well, paths of the sea, there's no paths in this. Oh, maybe ocean currents, right? So anyway, he said, okay, so Matthew Fontaine Maury, okay, says, if God said there are paths in the sea, I'm going to find them. Which is really interesting because the Bible is talking about paths in the sea. This guy is super smart. Half of these I would probably just fall asleep in if I was in class for them. I'm not gonna lie. Like oceanography, I don't know. I would probably just fall asleep. But anyway, this dude is super smart, okay, and he enjoyed what he did. He did this, so he took God at his word, and he took it as a challenge. So he takes God's word and he challenges himself and he says, I'm going to find these paths in the sea. That's what I'm going to do. If God says they're there, then they're there, and I'm going to find them. He never questioned it. He just went and did. So he was actually nicknamed Pathfinder of the Seas and father of modern oceanography and naval meteorology. Okay, and later, scientist of the seas for his extensive works in his books, especially the physical geography of the sea. So he literally wrote books on this. He went and took God at his word and went out there and he said, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to prove God is right. I'm going to go find these paths in the seas because God says they're there. That is the physical geography of the sea was written in 1855, the first such extensive and comprehensive book on oceanography to be published. So he went documented it all. I mean, he was a cartographer, okay? And like I said earlier, cartographers were very adamant about grabbing every detail possible because the better the map, the more money they made off of it. So obviously, like today, the better the product, the more they're going to charge you for it. Same thing there, right? So the book of Psalms, okay, is estimated to have been written between 1440 BC and 586 BC. That's a huge gap in time. Okay, huge gap in time. So you're talking, I don't know, you're talking like Greek era on up. You know what I mean? So, Aristotle, it was written, Aristotle was alive and well, while the book of Psalms is being written, because it expands. It's a massive expansion in the book. And the book of Psalms is actually the largest book in the Bible. So the book of Psalms has several different authors, and the content was written over an extended period of time, like I just said. So the book of Songs is, like I said, the longest book in the Bible, and takes the form of poetry that has been widely used as prayers and songs. The authors of the Psalms are thought to be, okay, so there's no, we don't know for sure if these guys were the authors, but it would make sense that most of them are. David, Solomon, Asaph, sons of Korah, Heman, Ethan, and Moses, and a large amount was written by anonymous writers. So there's a lot of writers to the book of Psalms. The Psalms cover a variety of themes from praise to faith and forgiveness. So this book goes from here to here and everything in between, right? But the thing is, and here's the argument somebody could say. They could give us the argument of, oh, hey, well, these were just poems or whatever. God never really said that. The inspiration came from somewhere. And the fact that they say paths in the sea, okay, what's it say? Let me back up. Whatever passes through the paths of the seas. No one would really know that prior to Matthew Fontaine Maury, because nobody went and really researched it like he did. So they wouldn't understand that there was currents under the water, under the oceans, like in the oceans. They wouldn't understand that because they wouldn't know they existed. They never saw them. They never realized. Look, so back in ancient days, boats had sails on them. What moved them? The wind. The wind moved them. So now, obviously, they're motorized and whatnot. But even still now, though, you can still get caught in a current in like a rowboat or a canoe or whatever. I mean, river rafting, what are you doing? You're literally riding a current. So, but they wouldn't know that that's what that was. They wouldn't have thought that, hey, you know what? That the way the water runs right here, that's a current. So the ocean's got those. Let's go. They would not think about that. Obviously, they didn't. So anyway, so that would mean that God was talking about the oceanography, a minimum, okay? I'm not saying maximum because we have a huge expanse of time where the book of Psalms was actually written. And since we don't know exactly when Psalm 8:8 was written, time-wise, I can only speculate in the time frame, okay? But it's a minimum of 1,269 years before Fontaine. Okay? 1,269 years before Matthew Fontaine decided to take God at his word. That's how long minimum. So between, let's say, 586 BC. All right? So from 586 BC, which is the latest date that the book of Psalms was written, to, 1855? 1,269 years. Now, modern oceanography didn't begin as a field of science, okay? Here's the crazy part. Until about 130 years ago. Yeah. So now we're way past that. I mean, that's well over 2,000 years. Okay? We're in 2022 right now. 130 years ago is when oceanography became an actual field of science. Thanks to Matthew Fontaine Maury. So, in the late 19th century, right, after Americans, British, and Europeans launched a few expeditions to explore ocean currents, ocean life, and the seafloor off their coastlines. So, 130 years ago, late 19th century, that's when everybody decided, hey, let's go start exploring the water. Fontaine had already written his book. So, yeah, here we go. 1855. Yeah, 130 years later. Possibly. I don't know, my math sucks, so. Anyway, so in 1892, oceanography became a real science, all right? So that means from the time God mentioned it to the time science proved it, excuse me, a minimum of 1,306 years had passed. Excuse me. 1,306 years between the time, minimum, because we're going off of the last date for Psalms, 586 BC. So minimum of 1,306 years between the time God mentioned it, or it was mentioned in the book, and the time that it was actually proven. Again, this is just another example of science proving the Bible right. All right? Which solidifies even more that, well, I mean, God's word is truth. You can't have, these are not coincidences. The fact that Psalms talks about the earth free floating in space. The fact that the Bible also talks about the earth is round, and the fact that now we're looking at oceanography that was spoken of in a time period where nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about currents, but here it is in the Bible, being talked about in the Bible. Or mentioned, even mentioned. It doesn't even need to go into depth. It's being mentioned. These are not things that people in the ancient world would have thought about unless they were told them, unless it was told to them. So you can't tell me that, again, the Bible is not real? It's not truthful? Like, seriously. These are facts. I mean, you guys can go look them up. I literally Googled oceanography and Matthew Fontaine Maury. Like, I got a book that I got the inspiration out of for all of these, for the scriptures. I went and looked at the scriptures to make sure the author of the book was even correct. And it's in there. It's all in there. So we can't sit here and say, oh, well, so here's the thing. Anytime anybody ever tells you that, oh, the Bible is just a fantasy, it's just a story. No, it's not. It's historical, it's scientific, and it's religious. Like, seriously. And I'm not going to say that we should just go out there and start slapping people in the face with it. But this is information that as a Christian you should know, because this gives you this gives the word power, empowers you also to be able to intelligently defend the fact that the Bible is real and that their belief is off. Their belief is the wrong one. Look, we as believers have an obligation to speak the truth. And this stuff here, literally, these little lessons are just proving that the Bible is real and it is truth. Because science is constantly finding out that it's right in all of these things. So, for instance, okay, let's say you run into somebody. Let's talk about the theory of evolution, okay? There's one big problem with evolution. Is at what point, okay, this is the question. At what point does one type of being, creature, whatever it is, decide it's going to be something completely different? Let's go back even further. So we are phytoplankton, float around in the sea, blah, 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 nothing, no organs, no brain, no nothing, just blah. When did a brainless, non-coherent living cell decide I want to be something different, and poof, I'm now a fish? God says, I created the heavens and the earth. So creation happened because evolution doesn't make sense. Evolution gives you way more questions without any answers. The Bible has answers. Now, it might give you a lot of questions, and we're not meant to know everything, but the Bible has answers on a lot of topics. And we're not even going to go there because we could probably be here all night talking about topics of what the Bible actually covers. But I'm telling you guys, like, it's factual. You can look it up. You can prove it. Without a doubt, you can prove it. Oceanography is real. What are they? They're currents in the oceans. Why would they be called paths of the sea? Well, I mean, they go different directions. They kind of separate themselves. You've got water up here that's kind of just floating, and you got these paths, these currents that go underneath it like this, barely disturbing this water up here. Wouldn't that be a path? That'd be a path. So, guys, man, this is real stuff. It's real good stuff. Like, it's real stuff. So we need to start standing up for the truth, and that's why I want to do these videos. Why I decided to do the science in the Bible. Okay, it's something that is tangible that we can give non-believers even, that is tangible, something tangible we can give them. Say, hey, look, here you go. Look, this is, you might be struggling with your faith, but don't denounce the Bible. Don't say that the Bible isn't right or real or truthful, because here's facts, scientific facts found in the Bible that were spoken of thousands of years before science even existed. So where is the how would they know this without some type of divine intervention? So when you're in those tough spots, and you're going to be, if you haven't already been, I have been. I've had people ask me about the Bible questions I don't even know answers to. It's okay to say, hey, you know what? I don't know. That's not for me to know. We're not given all the answers. We know that. But the answers we do have are supposed to be shared. And that's why we're doing this, why I'm doing this, is going through and getting this science in the Bible and pulling it out and saying, look, here's this, here's this, here's this. Because these are facts. These have been proven by science maybe 130 years ago when it started, but we know even more now. Thanks to technology and crazy people that want to go and swim down in the dark depths of the water with fish that can eat me. Not me. You won't catch me in the ocean. So I used to want to be a marine biologist, and then I learned what was in the waters around us, and I decided that when you have a great white shark that can smell like a drop of blood like 10 miles away, I'm okay. I'll stay out of the water. Thanks. So that, and I really don't want to get stung by jellyfish either. I mean, I know these are all, way whacked out. They're not the norm, but hey, they're still back here. I mean, just go look at some of that stuff. Like, it's crazy. Like the goblin fish. He's the one that got the manly face. And he's like all sad, like something like that. Kind of weirds me out. No bones in that fish, by the way. So anyway, that's it. Oceanography. Science in the Bible. Okay, part 3. Next video I'm going to do, it will probably be around Wednesday. And it's going to be pretty controversial. So if you guys like controversy, you guys like something, if you guys like these videos at all, like, subscribe, share. If you guys think that they can help somebody, whether come to faith or not, it doesn't matter. Or maybe just help them understand, by all means, show them the videos or share them to them. That's what they're here for. I'm not doing this for my own gain. I'm doing this, like I said in the very beginning, God has called me to speak truth to everyone and to hopefully help pull back the veil of all the blinded believers that are so just going the wrong direction. I actually had an opportunity to talk to somebody from Egypt, and she actually enlightened me on a lot of things, which will come out in the next video. But just, guys, keep in mind, this is real stuff. You guys can go and research my stuff. Literally just go and Google it, and you'll find the same answers I found. So it's not something I'm making up. Go read your Bible. Go read the scriptures that I said, like Psalm 8:8. It literally states that in Psalm 8:8 about the paths in the sea. That's all I got, guys. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Like I said, probably like Wednesday. I don't think I'm going to be doing them every day. I think what I'm going to start doing now is hopefully just do 1 or 2 a week, maybe 3. This week I've got some things going on, so it won't be this week. But hopefully we'll get back to 1 every day in the future. But for this time being right now, you get probably 3 videos a week from me. But hey, guys, seriously, if you like them, if they help you in any way, if you can get past my goofy faces and my hand gestures, because I talk with my hands a lot and I ramble, which I'm doing right now. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Be awesome. And we'll see you guys in the next video, all right? I'll see you guys later.